So WWE's big cryptic messaging from online and the Twitter and everything has been revealed to it's a WrestleMania 42 ad. This has got everybody talking, and I thought honestly we would just have a casual conversation here, really unpacking this whole thing. It's not a huge deal, but it does kind of speak, and I thought it'd be interesting to talk about how it does highlight some of the frustration people are seeing with WWE right now when they make moves and do things like this. So we had over the weekend, a couple of days, all of these cryptic little teasers, right? They put it on socials and it was a bunch of guys just walking into room and we were all trying to figure out who could it be? Is it a new faction, division? It's all gotta be tied and twisted together, or is it War Games related? At least that's what I was doing. Now, to be frank, I just think it's fun. I think it's a good time to sit here and be able to go and say, hey, it could be this, it could be that, speculate a little bit, because it's just fun to do. It gives me a laugh. It makes me enjoy the product a little bit more of like, oh, what could it be? And that's part of, I think, WWE, it's part of wrestling, is the enjoyment of, you know, the mystery element. When it turns out to just be an ad, well, then it's just, okay, it's whatever. We move on with our day. But it's great because I do like the original one where we didn't know what the heck it was. I did like that everybody's putting in their 2 cents of like, oh, it could be Jericho, it could be Brock, it could be this or that. I like where everyone was giving in their input, because that's the engagement part of all of this. It's the, like I said, the fun thing to do is the possibilities of where it could go. But it is definitely something that we, and I'll say me, we build up, right? We think it's going to be an angle. It's going to be something story related, and it's just an advertisement for a show that everybody already knew and that was already announced. Is it a good marketing ploy decision by WWE? Well, yeah, in one way, because, well, it got everybody talking, but it got everybody talking for the wrong reasons. That's maybe part of the issue here, is it wasn't related to a story. They didn't use this time and effort to push something or someone. And I think that's where part of the frustration comes in for fans is, oh man, it's just a commercial. Does WWE get success out of this because they were able to garner up such discussion, conversation about what it could be? Again, I think it's the wrong reasons to do it, and I don't think it helps their case right now. You have the issue of ticket prices being so expensive for WrestleMania and for any show really, and the product right now is at this weird intersection, I feel, where we've had like 2-3 weeks of good wrestling, good shows, new champions, people turning heel, changes. We've seen these things on TV. These are all great positives. But we came off of just so long, and I say so long, but what feels like the entire summer, where everything was just very middle of the road, no risk taken. The show felt rinse and repeat, both Raw and SmackDown. Again, conversations around ticket prices and creative having these issues. So when it is revealed that we got this WrestleMania 42 trailer, I think the trailer looks great. But I think it's just, you got Cody in there, you got Triple H narrating the thing, because Triple H loves doing these promos. It's all cinema, and he comes out and Paul Heyman's there, and you got Cody, you got Roman, you got Punk, you got Brock, who looks exhausted through the whole thing, sitting there, and then it's WrestleMania 42. It's fine, but I think it just leaves a lot of bad taste in people's mouths. Now, I want to look at the WWE's side, what they might say to all of this. We're fans, we're online dummies like me, would sit there and go, oh, is WWE teasing something absolutely major? Well, that's kind of what we thought originally, and turns out no. From WWE's side, they might say, the fans built this up in their minds. They did it to themselves. We never said it was story related. We never said it was anything but a commercial. They all assumed. So everybody just assumed it was going to be something neat, and it turns out it wasn't. So was that really just our fault? Yeah, kind of, because we all thought that it was going to be something, and it turned out to be absolutely nothing. But again, I think it does speak to a larger issue with the company and the product and where fans are sitting right now, because you're not having WWE doing anything cool. I'm old, so we use the word cool. We don't have anything that is unique and captivating. This little teaser with the shoes would have been an excellent way to gather attention and do something unique, introduce a new star, a new faction, something creative for the TV product, for the storylines that you watch every week to get people hyped up and very interested. It doesn't, what's fun is that it doesn't take much. I'm not saying like, oh, it doesn't take much to, please us. I mean, it doesn't take much effort to get people talking in an excited way about the product. You literally had Brock's feet walking in a room and that was it. You had it shot in a cinematic way. You used a filter and a LUT and you had the camera focusing on the feet. You threw in some tension background music that you got online and boom, you got yourself a little thing. If you're WWE, why wouldn't you do more of these things related to storylines? Budget, time, all this stuff. Okay, fine. But you could see how fans are clamoring for more. They're looking for something to get excited about, which tells you something is missing. If everything was great and it was like height of WrestleMania 39-40 timeline, where everyone is kind of bought in, people will probably still assume that it's something related to a faction or a story beat, but maybe they would kind of dismiss it and just let it go very quickly because maybe the product was in a better spot. But why can't you do more of this in relation to characters and story on TV? We remember when we had like Punk and Roman and Heyman sitting down before War Games last year? That was cool. Where you have Cody and Roman doing the giant football field cinematic thing. And some people think, oh, it's just corny and it's just silly that they did that. I liked it because it was different, because it was trying to build to something. It had you curious of what they could do. They do none of that now. And like you're more obsessed with yeeting and introductions to Monday Night Raw, where you burn 13 minutes, than trying to deliver something captivating like you have done in the past with those moments. I love that sit down of Punk, Heyman, and Roman because it was unique, because they took time to script and film something and put effort into it. And you put so much effort, it seems, into teases and teasers for a WrestleMania trailer. Do that with your show. This also burns fans a little bit too, that it is just kind of you bummed out, you go, it's just a silly thing. If WWE only released the trailer, if they didn't do any of the teasers with the shoes, I think people would have just thought nothing of it, because you would have seen it and you would have known what it was. And you go, this is a WrestleMania trailer. People would still complain and be like, I wanted this to be something and it's not. Or maybe I would still sit there and be like, it's a WrestleMania 42 trailer. But we're gonna dissect what everything means in the scene and what's Triple H really saying, and Cody is sitting looking at something. By the way, when you look at the poster itself, why does it look AI, number one? Number two, why does it look like everyone's kind of looking in different perspectives? Like not everyone is looking at the camera. They're looking a little off everywhere, and Brock just doesn't look like it's actually Brock Lesnar. It's like they had to Photoshop Brock in there because they only had him for 3 minutes. So yeah, if you had just the trailer show, yeah, we all move on and it's fine. And not to be dramatic or anything, it highlights to me some of the glaring problems with WWE being kind of tone deaf about their audience. And it's interesting because they say and claim that, and they're a big company, so like they don't care, but they claim that it's all about listening to the audience, that it's really about the live audience. And then they say they don't care about the online. Like Triple H just talks about how like, oh, the internet's not real, nothing's real, suck it, sledgehammer. But you engage so much from your online audience. You want those YouTube views, but then you get the Jey Uso stuff, and then it's like the biggest amount of dislikes ever. And they do certain things where they will pivot characters, superstars, based off of fan reaction. When fans revolted against the whole thing with The Rock and Cody at WrestleMania, WWE goes and rewrites history to say, this was the plan. It wasn't the plan. Your plan was to have Rock in there, and you kick Cody out of the whole story to do something else. Then you pivoted back because fans got mad online, and you changed the product. It shows me that with something as simple and silly as a trailer, that they are not listening to their audience as much. And you compound it with ticket prices being insane, multiple streaming platforms where it's costing people an arm and a leg to just watch the product that they want to watch. It kind of adds to it. It's kind of a symbol of some issues right now. Now, I wanted to get your input and thoughts on this to see, like, are you guys mad about it? Do you care, not care? I think it was just fun in the beginning to just talk about the shoes and like what it could mean. But I wanted to know, now that we know, where's everyone kind of standing with this? So H. Salim says, I don't know whether to be depressed or enraged. Well, don't be depressed. Like, let's be healthy about things. Like seriously, the same old people from the last 10 Manias and nothing fresh. I guess we can kiss LA Knight or Braun winning the title in the main event goodbye. But this is, okay, I get what you're saying, I think. It doesn't have anything to do, though, with, like, stories. That's the problem. I think that's probably part of what you're saying is, like, you're depressed and enraged because it's a letdown that it's not what you want it to be. But also what you're saying is, like, you look at the table and you're like, hey, it's the same old names from the last 10 years. It's just a lot of old guys. It is part of the problem with WWE, I will say. They are going to have an older main event problem pretty soon. I think we're seeing that right now. But they're pushing their main stars, like, come on, they're pushing their champions, the biggest names, the biggest draws, and they got Brock to sit at a table for 4 minutes. Like, they got Brock to sit there. You got to understand, too, that that's the way it goes. Like, we got to market this thing. If John Cena was still around, they'd have Cena sitting at the table for WrestleMania. Boombox says, that was a huge letdown. Yeah, it was just a whole bag of nothing. Jack says, hi, Jack. I wasn't really surprised. The unfortunate truth is WWE is literally just a business now who hires actors more than now than ever before. TKO is money driven, so everything is going to be hyped up for making money. Just like at WrestlePalooza, we were promised something big, and we got nothing. Soon as wrestling fans start to realize this and take a stand, the better it will be, but we aren't there yet. I don't know what kind of stand people can take, though, Jack. Other than people, and you get it in, like, I see it in comments all the time, people are like, you only watch AEW, don't watch this, don't watch the product. Don't support the, well, it's a wrestling show. It's a wrestling channel as well. We cover things here, but regardless of me, people take a stand, don't watch the product. I think the bigger thing to do is, you could say, like, don't stream it, don't pay, don't buy ESPN, all that stuff. People are going to do that. So it's not even what they're worried about. Where you hit them, where it hurts, is advertisers. If fans really wanted to revolt against something, you don't go by WWE because it won't happen. What you do is, you start calling out the advertisers and the sponsors for the show, and you point your energy at them. You tell them that you're not going to buy their product because they're affiliated with WWE. And that's how it really works. You could say just don't stream the product and don't, cancel memberships and all of that. People enjoy it. Like, people still go to the arenas seemingly are still sold out and people are still going. They're paying ticket prices like they are. It's not going to stop anytime soon, like you're saying. Brady says, I just think there's zero excitement for Mania 42 in general. I think when they going back to Vegas the second time feels like rinse and repeat. And I think also it could be systemic for where we are right now with the storylines. Now we're about to get into Survivor Series. It's going to change. People are going to get more excited. WWE is going to start pushing stories, like bigger ones, because they're going to get into Mania season. So it's going to happen. Whether we like those stories or not is a different conversation. It's early. They're putting WrestleMania 42 tickets on sale now, which I understand. But it's just so early for people to even think about Mania season. Stugat says, IWC are pissed because they all thought it was about the Vision. Yeah, people thought it was story related. WWE never said it was story related. So their argument is, we never said it was that. You know what I just thought of too? The other issue with this reveal, and maybe they'll do a part 2. There's no women. There's no women at the table. No Bianca, Charlotte, Rhea Ripley. None of them are there. Maybe they'll do a second ad where it's all the women at the table. Maybe there's that. I thought that was an odd choice. You didn't want any female representation in your Mania commercial. Huckleberry says, I haven't watched Raw or SmackDown in full for ages. It all feels just so meh. The Bloodline storyline got me back into it, but everything now feels so predictable. It's a shame as they have an incredibly talented roster. Yeah, I think the Bloodline storyline brought people back. And then once that really felt like it was done at Mania 40, I think people kind of tapered off and they petered out and they come back when they feel like the product is hot. Like there's going to be more casuals and there's diehards. So a silly commercial got everybody worked up. But what did you think? I think more fan backlash is not what the company needs right now. But I think what they need is do these things. Do these teasers. It proves that people's interest will go up and people would be talking about your product more in less negative ways. So the lesson learned here is, well, we can't assume anything is real anymore, that's for sure. But also, just WWE needs to do better, I think, creatively. But speaking of WWE, because that's what we do here, guys, subscribe to the channel if you can, because we're trying to get to 50,000 subs. And if you want, click this video right here. We're talking more WWE deep dive topics like that. Have a great day. See ya.